You have spent your entire life trying to be whole, trying to be complete, trying to hold yourself together. But what if the soul's deepest secret, its most desperate prayer, is not for wholeness, but to be shattered? The hidden voice in your head, the one you call I, has taught you to fear the crack, to dread the heartbreak, to avoid the wound at all costs. But the great poet of the soul, Rumi, knew something else. He knew that the voice of reason is the cage and the shattering is the key. What he knew about the soul will not comfort you, will not soothe you. It will, if you let it, break you open to the raw, terrifying, and ecstatic heart of God. If you are tired of protecting a self that feels more like a prison, if you are ready to hear the truth that your deepest wounds are actually sacred doorways, then take a breath and surrender. This journey is not for the mind. It is for the heart that is brave enough to break. Subscribe and join us because the path to real love is through the ruins of who you think you are. Part 1. The polished vase and the fear of the fisher. Let us begin with the work of art you call yourself. Feel it now. The person you believe yourself to be. It is a magnificent construction, is it not? A ceramic vase, perhaps, shaped so carefully over the decades. In the beginning the clay was soft, impressionable, but over time you molded it. You smoothed its surfaces, buffed out its imperfections. You learned what was good, what was acceptable, what was lovable, and you shaped yourself into that image. You became the good child, the responsible partner, the competent professional, the loyal friend. Every act of conformity, every suppression of an inappropriate impulse, was another layer of glaze, making the surface smooth, glossy, respectable. Feel the weight of this vase now. It contains your opinions, your memories, your accomplishments. It has a name. It has a history. You place it on a shelf in your home, a place of honor, where the light hits it just right. You keep it dusted. You protect it. You admire it. This is me, you say to yourself and to the world. It is a beautiful vase. Strong, solid, dependable. And your greatest fear, your deepest unspoken terror, is that it will develop a fissure. The hidden voice, the curator of this vase, dedicates its entire life to preventing cracks. When a harsh word is spoken, the voice rushes to apply a patch of justification. When failure threatens, the voice steers you away from risk, keeping the vase safe on its shelf. When an emotion that is too big, a wave of overwhelming grief or a wild, untamable passion, surges from within, the voice suppresses it, fearing the pressure from the inside out might cause a fracture. Be careful, it whispers. Be reasonable. Don't feel too much. Don't love too much. Don't want too much. You might break. And so you live your life as the guardian of a museum piece. A life of containment. A life of careful management. You measure your words, you curate your emotions, you calculate your risks. You live to protect the vase. And inside this perfectly polished, carefully guarded vessel, your soul is suffocating. It is yearning for something more. It does not want to be an object on a shelf. It wants to be the ocean. It wants to contain the storm. It wants to feel the sun and the rain and the wind. It wants to be filled until it overflows, until it shatters into 1,000 pieces, just to feel the freedom of no longer being a contained form. The vase is your personality, your ego. It is a necessary construction to navigate this world, but it has become a prison. And you have identified with the prison instead of the divine prisoner living inside it. You look at your beautiful, unbroken vase and call it wellness. Rumi would look at it and call it death. He knew the vase must break. He knew the first fissure is not the beginning of the end, but the beginning of real life. The crack is the crevice through which the light, the love, the very presence of God, can finally enter. But to allow that crack, you must first defy the voice that has spent a lifetime telling you to stay whole. You must become a traitor to your own safety. Part 2. The Secret of Rumi, The Lover's Wound. Now, let us turn to the master of the broken soul, Jalal al-Din Rumi. In the West we have domesticated him. We have made him a greeting card poet, a purveyor of inspirational quotes for social media posts. We have cherry-picked his sweetest verses about love and beauty, and we have ignored the consuming fire that is at the heart of his teachings. Rumi was not a feel-good poet. He was a master of divine annihilation. He was a guide to sacred ruin. The secret Rumi knew, the one our culture of self-help and positive thinking dares not touch, is this. The soul's purpose in this life is not to be happy or successful or even healed in the conventional sense. The soul's purpose is to love. And to love, not in the romantic, possessive sense, but in the mystical, overwhelming, all-consuming sense, requires a breaking. It demands the demolition of the separate self. The hidden voice within you, the voice of the ego, wants to use spirituality as a self-improvement project. It wants to meditate to feel calm. It wants to do yoga to have a better body. It It wants to read spiritual books to become wiser. It wants to add spirituality to its vase, to make it even glossier, even more perfect. It is the ego trying to save itself, to enhance itself, to become a spiritual self. Rumi laughs at this ambition. He knows that true spirituality is not a renovation project. It is a demolition project. It is not about building a better you. It is about surrendering so completely to the fire of divine love that the you is burned away entirely, leaving only the beloved. The truth that will shatter you if you let it is this: your heart is not a problem to be fixed. It is an altar that must be broken. Your pain, your longing, your loneliness, your heartbreak, these are not signs that you have failed at life. They are invitations from your soul. They are the beloved knocking at your door, not with a bouquet of flowers but with a hammer. He knew that the intellect, the logical, reasonable mind, is the greatest barrier to this union. The mind wants to understand, to categorize, to control. It wants a map, a system, a guarantee of safety. Love, for Rumi, is the opposite. It is the leap into the abyss. It is the surrender to bewilderment. It is the willingness to be a fool, a drunkard, a mad lover, who has abandoned the marketplace of reason for the Tavern of Ruin, where the only currency is the heart itself. The hidden voice screams in protest. This is dangerous. It's irrational. You will lose yourself. And Rumi, from somewhere beyond time, whispers back, yes, lose yourself. Lose yourself completely. For only when you are hopelessly lost can the beloved find you. This is the beginning of the Rumi journey. It is a call to stop being the curator of your vase, and to become a lover of the crack, a seeker of the holy wound through which the infinite can pour. Part 3. The Song of the Reed Flute, the pain of separation. To understand the depth of Rumi's vision, we must sit with one of his most powerful and enduring metaphors, that of the reed flute, the ney. His great poem, the Masnavi, begins with the lament of this flute. Rumi invites us to listen to its story, for its story is our own. Imagine yourself now in a vast, green reed bed. The sun is warm. The air is moist. Reeds sway gently in the breeze, together as a family. They are at home, connected to their roots, part of a whole. Now, imagine a hand reaching down and cutting one of those reeds. It is torn from its home, severed from its source. This is the first pain. This is the story of the soul's birth into an individual body. A primal sense of separation, of exile. But the reed's ordeal has only begun. Now, it is in the hands of the flute maker, the beloved. And the beloved begins to empty it. All of its soft pith, everything that filled it, is scraped away. It is made hollow. Empty. This is the second pain. It is the process of life, the emptying out of our certainties, our attachments, our identities. It is the process of realizing that everything we thought we were is, in fact, impermanent. The hidden voice fights this emptying. It tries to cling to beliefs, to possessions, to relationships, to anything to fill the growing void. It is terrified of the emptiness. Then the beloved takes a red-hot iron. And with painful precision he begins to burn holes in the reed's body. One by one. Each hole is a wound. Each hole is a loss, a sorrow, a heartbreak. Each hole is a place where the world has pierced you. This is the third and most intense pain. The hidden voice screams, I am being destroyed. I am being violated. It curses the flute maker and his cruelty. But the flute maker knows what he is doing. He knows that only when the reed has been separated from its home, emptied of its false self and pierced with wounds, can it be brought to the lips of the beloved. And only then, when the breath of the beloved passes through its emptiness, through its wounds, can the reed produce music. The flute's lament, its haunting, mournful song, is the song of your own soul. It is the sound of your yearning to return to unity. It is the beauty that can only be born from the pain of separation. The hidden voice in your head tells you that your feeling of emptiness, your longing, your loneliness is a problem. It tells you that you need to fill yourself up, find a partner, get a better job, buy more things to get rid of this uncomfortable sense of incompleteness. Rumi tells us the opposite. He tells us to honor the emptiness, to cherish our hollowness, because it is this hollowness that makes us a vessel for the divine breath. He tells us not to try to patch our wounds, but to keep them open, for they are the holes in the flute that allow the different notes to be played. Your pain is not an obstacle to your spirituality, it is the instrument of it. Your broken heart is not a sign that you are far from God, it is what qualifies you to be touched by His lips. So, sit now with your own hollowness. Feel the empty space inside you that longs for something it cannot even name. Feel the scars of your wounds, the places where life has pierced you. Don't try to fill it or fix it. Instead, listen. Can you hear the music? Can you hear the song of longing your soul is singing? That song is your truest prayer. It is your most authentic connection to the divine. You are not a broken being. You are a flute waiting for the breath of your beloved. Part 4. The Tavern of Ruin, an invitation to sacred perdition. The logical mind, the hidden voice of the ego, thrives on order, respectability, and clarity. It seeks enlightenment in monasteries, in holy books, in disciplined practices. It wants to follow a clear path with rules and predictable outcomes. For this mind, Rumi's most shocking and offensive concept is his call to the Karabat, the Tavern of Ruin. Rumi writes, I said, what is the meaning of the Tavern of Ruin? He said, ruin, but a ruin where a treasure lies, a treasure that no amount of prosperity can equal. Person in lotus position, let us take a journey to this tavern now. Not with our minds, but with our imagination, which is the soul's organ of perception. Picture yourself walking through a well-ordered city. The streets are clean. The shops are full of goods. The people are dressed in fine clothes on their way to the mosque or the marketplace. This is the city of the ego, the city of respectability. But you feel a pull. A call from a dark, narrow alleyway you have always been taught to avoid. You follow the call. The air grows thicker, smelling of spilled wine, incense, and something else, something sweet and decadent. You hear the sound of laughter, but not polite laughter. It is guttural, wild, abandoned laughter. You hear music, but it is not the pious music of the temple. It is the music of the reed flute, the pulsating drum, the weeping oud. You come to a warped wooden door with no sign. This is the entrance to the Tavern of Ruin. The hidden voice shrieks, do not enter. This is a place of sin and perdition. You will lose your reputation, your salvation. But your soul, the thirsty lover, pushes the door open and steps inside. What do you see? The room is dark, lit by flickering candles that cast dancing shadows. The air is thick with smoke. The patrons are not the respectable citizens of the city. They are the whirling dervishes, the drunken poets, the mad lovers, the renegade saints. Some are laughing, some are weeping. Some are dancing with ecstatic abandon, others are sitting in a corner in a stunned silence. They are all ruined. They have ruined their reputations. They have ruined their dogmatic beliefs. They have ruined their carefully constructed selves. The tavern keeper, a figure who looks as ancient as time, approaches you. He does not ask your name or your profession. His eyes seem to look directly into your soul. He offers you a cup of wine. Not the wine that numbs, but the wine that dissolves. The wine of divine love. The hidden voice panics. Do not drink it. It is forbidden. You will become a sinner. But your soul knows that this wine is the only thing that can quench its thirst. To drink this wine is the act of relinquishing control. It is the act of surrendering to bewilderment. In the Tavern of Ruin you do not come to learn. You come to unlearn. You come to be emptied of everything you think you know. You trade your cleverness for astonishment. You trade your certainties for mystery. You trade your life for true life. The ruin Rumi speaks of is the ruin of the ego. It is the dissolution of the separate personality that keeps you small and afraid. The treasure that is found in this ruin is the direct experience of oneness, the realization that you and the beloved are one. This is not a physical place. It is a state of consciousness. It is the state you enter when you give up the need to be right, to be good, to be in control. It is the state of being a mad lover. The hidden voice will never enter this tavern. It prefers its clean, well-ordered prison. But your soul longs for it. It longs for the freedom of ruin. It longs to get so drunk on love that it forgets its own name. Do you have the courage to enter? Do you have the courage to drink the wine that will ruin everything you are not, so that only what you are may remain? Part 5. The nature of the beloved. At this point in the journey, the logical mind, the hidden voice, may begin to feel profoundly uncomfortable. It hears of annihilation, of ruin, of surrender, and it asks, with a tinge of panic, surrender to what? Be annihilated by whom? Who is this beloved that demands such a dangerous and total devotion? This is a crucial question, because the mind immediately projects the concept of beloved into a form it can understand, an external being, perhaps an idealized romantic partner, perhaps a master or guru figure, or perhaps an anthropomorphic god, a king on a heavenly throne, separate from us, to whom we must submit. These are all egoic projections. They maintain the duality, the separation between the lover and the beloved. Rumi's beloved is infinitely more subtle and radical. The beloved is not a person. It is not an entity. The beloved is life itself. It is the one infinite presence, the boundless consciousness that pulses in every atom of the universe. It is the mystery that dances in a falling leaf, that shines in a stranger's eyes, that weeps in your own broken heart. The beloved is not out there. He is the all-pervading reality within which we are breathing and moving. He is closer to you than your own jugular vein. The hidden voice cannot grasp this. It wants a transactional relationship with the divine. I pray, I meditate, I am a good person, and in return, God, you give me safety, health, prosperity. It's a deal. This is the relationship of a merchant, not a lover. The path of the lover, the path of Rumi, is a yearning for dissolution, not transaction. The lover wants nothing from the beloved. The lover only wants the beloved. It wants to merge, to dissolve, to disappear into him, like a raindrop falling back into the ocean. The lover does not pray, give me what I want. The lover prays, take me, burn me, undo me, make me into that which you are. This is a terrifying path for the ego. It offers no security. It offers no guarantees. It offers no enhanced self at the end. It offers only the fire of transformation. It offers the possibility of a union so complete that there is no one left to claim the experience. And here, at this crucial juncture, you must be honest with yourself. This path is not for everyone. There is no judgment in that. Most people seek comfort and safety in spirituality, and that is understandable. But if Rumi's words, if this call to sacred annihilation, awakens a painful, beautiful longing in your soul, then perhaps you are one of the mad lovers. Perhaps you are ready for a spirituality that does not comfort you but consumes you. If you feel called to continue on this trail of fire, if you are willing to risk everything for the possibility of union, then acknowledge this moment. Click the like button not as a casual gesture but as a yes from the depths of your soul. A yes to the hammer of the beloved. A yes to the ruin that leads to the treasure. Part 6. The Guest House, welcoming every emotion. Once you say yes to this path, the work becomes immediate, intimate, and relentless. The beloved begins to send his messengers to your door. And these messengers, more often than not, are not angels with wings. They are your own difficult emotions. Rumi captured this truth in one of his most famous and accessible poems, The Guest House. Let us enter this guest house now, which is your own being. Imagine that your heart, your awareness, is a guest house. And you are the host. Every day there is a new arrival. One morning you open the door and there is joy. She is vibrant, full of light, and she dances through your house. It is easy to be a good host to joy. You welcome her in, offer her the best seat, and hope she never leaves. But the next day there is another knock at the door. You open it, and this time it is grief. She is stooped, wearing a gray cloak, and a heaviness emanates from her that seems to suck the light from the room. What is your usual reaction, dictated by the hidden voice? You try to slam the door in her face. No, not you. You are not welcome here. Go away. Or perhaps you let her in, but you hide her in a back room, hoping she'll disappear if you ignore her. The next day anger arrives. Red-faced, fists clenched, shouting about some injustice. The hidden voice panics. This is destructive. Dangerous. I am a peaceful person. I cannot have anger here. And you try to force him out, which only makes him stronger and louder. Then comes fear, a trembling visitor who sees danger in every shadow. And envy with its narrow eyes and its whispered poison. And shame, who cannot even look at you and tries to hide under the rug. Your guest house is filled with unwanted visitors, and you are exhausted from trying to manage them, evict them, or ignore them. Rumi offers us a radically different approach. He says, this being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. This is the practice. Every emotion, especially the dark and difficult ones, is a messenger sent from the beloved. Your job is not to judge them or expel them. Your job is to open the door, smile, and say, welcome. I was expecting you. Please come in. Have some tea. Tell me, what message do you bring me from my beloved? When anger arrives, instead of repressing him, you invite him to sit. You listen to him. And you may find his message is, a boundary of yours has been violated. You need to protect yourself. When grief arrives, you sit with her and let her weep in your arms. And her message may be, this was important to person. Your spiritual persona. Yourself that meditates, that is compassionate, that is on the path. Let that go too. See it as just another costume, another label. What is left when you lie down in that grass, stripped of all your judgments, all your stories, all your identities? Silence. Being. Presence. In this field there is no separation. The breeze that touches your skin is not separate from you. The solidity of the earth beneath you is not separate from you. The vast blue sky above is not separate from you. The concept of me and other dissolves. The observer and the observed become one. The hidden voice cannot breathe the air of this field. Its oxygen is judgment. Its food is comparison. Here it starves. And in its absence, another voice can be heard. Not a voice of words, but a voice of silence. It is the pulse of being itself. It is the song of existence singing to itself. This field is not a place you go after you die. It is a state of consciousness that is available to you right now, in any moment you are willing to drop your judgmental mind. It is the space of the heart. When you are angry, you are in the forest of right and wrong. When you forgive, you step into the field. When you are anxious about the future, you are in the forest. When you rest in the present moment, you are in the field. The soul lies down in that grass. This is true rest. The rest from the striving to be someone. The rest from the war of opposites. Rumi is not inviting us to become amoral. He is inviting us to move to a dimension of consciousness where love, compassion, and kindness are not virtues to be practiced, but the natural expression of being, when it is no longer divided against itself by judgment. He is inviting us home. Part 9. From heartbreak to wholeness, the alchemy of pain. Now, let us bring this sublime wisdom down into the rawest, most painful reality of your own life. Let us talk about your broken heart. Every single person listening to these words carries the scar of at least one heartbreak. Perhaps it was the loss of a romantic love, a betrayal that shattered you to your core. Perhaps it was the death of a loved one, an absence that has become a constant, aching presence. Perhaps it was the crumbling of a dream, the failure of a life project into which you poured your soul. Or perhaps it is a more subtle ache, the chronic pain of not feeling seen, not feeling loved, not feeling like you belong. The hidden voice, your mind, has a very clear story about this pain. It is a tragedy. It is a mistake. It is proof of your inadequacy or the world's cruelty. Your pain is something to be gotten over, to be healed, to be forgotten. You must move on. You must get over it. The pain is the enemy. Happiness is the goal. Rumi would kneel beside you, look at the ruins of your heart and say, "Do not look away. This is the most sacred place on earth." He teaches us the hardest and most liberating truth of all. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Think about this. An intact, uncracked vase may be beautiful, but it is sealed. Nothing can get in. Nothing can get out. It is a closed system. It is only when the vase is broken, when the heart is shattered, that an opening is created. Let's revisit your greatest pain, your biggest heartbreak. But this time, let us look at it not through the eyes of the ego, which sees it as a failure, but through the eyes of the soul, which sees it as an initiation. Do you remember the moment of the breaking? That moment of pain so intense it felt like you would not survive? In that moment, all of your defenses came crashing down. Your carefully constructed persona was pulverized. Your belief in your own control was exposed as an illusion. In that moment, you were forced to your knees. You were emptied out. You became the reed flute. And in that state of complete and utter vulnerability, in that helplessness, something else had a chance to enter. Perhaps it was a deeper compassion for others who are suffering. You can only truly understand another's pain when you have known your own. Your heartbreak made you larger, not smaller. Perhaps, in the silence that followed the devastation, you had your first glimpse of presence, of that stillness that lies beneath all pain. Perhaps your pain drove you to ask deeper questions about life, to search for a meaning beyond the superficial. Perhaps your heartbreak broke you open to a larger love, a love that does not depend on a single person, but which is the very nature of reality. The hidden voice wants you to heal, to patch the cracks, to become the polished vase again. Rumi invites you to do something far more courageous. He invites you to keep your broken heart open. To not let your wounds turn into the hard scars of cynicism and bitterness, but to keep them as soft, tender openings through which you can feel the world more deeply. Your heartbreak is not a pathology. It is your greatest spiritual asset. It is your access point to the divine. The beloved is not found in your strength, but in your surrender. He is not found in your wholeness, but in your brokenness. Your pain was not a detour from the path, it was the path itself in disguise. And the task now is not to get rid of the pain, but to learn to use it as a portal. Every time you feel the twinge of that old wound, instead of flinching, you can breathe into it. You can use it as a reminder to open, to surrender, to remember the larger love that can only be found through a heart that has had the courage to break completely. Part 10. The final epiphany: you are the beloved. And so we arrive at the final destination of the lover's journey, which paradoxically is the starting point. After the long night of the soul, after the journey through the Tavern of Ruin, after the annihilation of the moth in the flame, after the acceptance of the sacred wound, the lover rises from the ashes of their broken self, looks around, and realizes the most dazzling secret of all. The beloved they were seeking was never separate from them. The entire journey was a game of hide and seek that the divine was playing with itself. The search, the yearning, the pain of separation, the joy of union, it was all the beloved experiencing itself through the perspective of the lover. The raindrop, after its long, arduous journey through the sky and the air, finally falls back into the ocean. And in the moment of impact, it realizes the truth. It was never a drop. It was always the ocean. Its dropness was just a temporary identity, a fleeting dream. Its true nature was always vast, boundless, and one with everything. This is the final epiphany that shatters the last and most subtle illusion. The illusion that there is a you that is uniting with a God. In this final recognition, the very notion of a separate you dissolves. The lover disappears. The beloved is all that remains. The hidden voice cannot comprehend this truth. It is its checkmate. Its entire existence is predicated on the premise of separation. I am here and the world is there. I am a sinner and God is up there. The realization of oneness is the solvent that dissolves the ego structure completely. You are not seeking love. You are love seeking itself. You are not praying to God. You are God praying to itself. You are not on the path to enlightenment. You are enlightenment dreaming you are on the path. Feel the silence that follows this realization. It is a full, vibrant, living silence. It is the silence of Rumi's heart. It is the peace that passes all understanding. The search is over, not because you found what you were looking for, but because you realized you are what you were looking for. Your life does not have to change externally. You will still pay your bills. You will still wash your dishes. You will still feel joy and sorrow. But it will all be experienced from a completely different place. You are no longer the small, frightened wave, afraid of crashing on the shore. You are the ocean playing in the form of a wave. You are at peace with your own rising and your own falling, knowing that your true nature is eternal and unchanging. What Rumi knew, what will shatter you, is this: your separate identity is the only barrier to the infinite love that you already are. And your heart must be broken by the world so that you can remember that your true heart is the heart of the entire world. You are not the lover. You are not the beloved. You are the love itself, the ecstatic dance between the two forever and ever. The shattering is complete. And in the place where you were broken, a garden has begun to grow. If this journey into sacred ruin has resonated with your soul, subscribe to this channel to continue dancing in this truth. The journey is not to become perfect, but to become so completely broken that nothing remains but love. Welcome to your real life.